Unfortunately, our relationship with Lebanon is a very toxic relationship.
Guy in the hot seat.
I love your name. My son's name is Luca.
It's a great name. You're a concert pianist, you're a composer, you're the chief entertainment officer. You're president of the basketball team as well.
The motivation, the ladies.
It's a little bit funny.
No.
Did you ever have a point when you're like, okay, I'm going to either be this or I'm going to be this?
Only the weak can focus on one thing. I fought a lot. I had to leave the team in 2014. I was pushed out by the club itself.
Why? Can Lebanon ever experience sustained
For the
peace
first time
and growth?
Ever, we are on the right path. I mean, you're going to hear sooner or later, but I am going into politics.
I'm not shocked by this.
My people have been abused. I'm not telling you that I'm going to jump in bed tomorrow with Israel, but I want peace, and I believe in that.
Today's guest is Guy Manoukian. Now, Guy wears many hats. He's a composer, he's a concert pianist, and he's also the chief entertainment officer at hospitality and nightlife group 7 Management. Guy also used to play professional basketball in Lebanon, as well as later becoming the team's club president. From the age of 4, he was something of a child prodigy, and his life journey is a really powerful reminder to many that we can actually follow our dreams, and we can have multiple dreams. Today, we talk about winning mindsets. We talk about the future of music and if Lebanon and the Lebanese, despite everything it's been through, are still number one for all things entertainment.
Guy Manoukian is a Lebanese-Armenian pianist, composer, and entertainer who blends Middle Eastern and contemporary music, and is the creative force behind the Theater Dubai. Beyond music, he also led Omenet Men Beirut to championship success as club president.
مش بالصدفة اليوم الأومنت من هون، مش بالصدفة نحن بالفينال كل بطولة عم نلعبها.
Guy, welcome to the show.
Hi, Luca. First of all, I love your name. My son's name is Luca.
It's a great name.
So it is a great name.
Were you inspired because you knew about me that you wanted to call your son Luca? Is that what
actually,
it was?
I've been following you for a while, but
Yes.
my son is now 15 years old, so I don't know when did you start.
Not 15 years ago, but I always like the compliments in the morning.
Yes, no, definitely.
You've had a rough last couple of days, right? You've been flying here and there, and
It's been crazy, yes. But how we say in Arabic, we say alhamdulillah, because, we've had a rough couple of months in the region. And
it's been a rough year, let's be honest.
Getting back to work is a blessing always. I don't care if it's like far away, I travel 18-hour flights just to perform. But at the end of the day, I love what I do. And, I do what I need to do to take care of my family and
100%.
my loved ones. So doesn't matter if I'm tired or not.
Amazing, I love that. And look, you do a lot of different things. Your life,
Yeah.
Guy, is like when I was doing my research, it's like an onion. The more I was peeling back, the more I'm like, really, he did that, and then what? He did that after that, and then after that, he did that. So it's nuts. You've had a crazy. How old are you? You just turned 50. Yeah, you just turned 50.
I just turned 50, but I feel like maximum 30 years old.
I love that.
I'm very energetic, and I feel that life is too short, and I feel I have so much to give in this life. That's why I live every day as if it's my last, and actually someday it would be your last. So,
it's going to be your last, yeah.
And after having kids, my whole perspective towards life changed. Now it's all about trying to make an impact, trying to lift people around me, trying to make a difference, actually.
Yeah. The world needs it right
and
now.
having fun along the way. So that's cool. I love what I do.
You do, and you do a lot. You do a lot of things, and we're going to get into it. Before we go any further, though, I've seen there's a little Superman. Is that a Superman mug that you've got there?
That's Super Baba.
Super Baba, I love that.
Super Baba.
Your kids made that for you?
No, that's actually the first mug I bought when I got to Dubai.
Okay.
There's a small story. We were just starting to work on the.
You can take a sip. Take a sip.
Yeah,
before,
I can take.
take it.
I'm
You
allowed.
need it. You need that caffeine in you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So when I came to Dubai, my partners asked me to come, Rabia Fakhreddin and 7 Management. We had started to create the theater. And right next to the theater, there was a coffee shop. I went there once with my good friend Khalil Tawil. and I saw the mug there, and I bought it, and it's been with me for 6 years. So it's my go-to mug.
So this is one of the first things you bought when you were in Dubai.
This is actually most probably the first thing I got. Yeah.
How do you feel about it potentially going on my mantelpiece behind you? Me taking the mug. How do you feel about that?
You taking the mug, it's going to take a lot of convincing.
I've got about an hour to try and convince you that mug belongs
Let's
here.
see.
Let's see indeed. But look, it's a
Oh
great,
my
it's a great mug though. I have to tell you, it's a
When
great
you
mug.
told me bring your favorite mug, I would have brought something else.
So how are you feeling about being in Dubai?
Because the other one I have is Super Mama. So
yeah, that
it's
would have been
gonna
a bit
be weird.
strange. Your wife would have. I'm guessing that's for your wife.
Yeah, but I mean,
What's your wife's name?
Sarah.
Sarah. You guys got married recently, a long time
No,
ago.
we've been together for almost 21 years, and we've been married for almost 20.
That's
so
amazing. What's the
a long
secret?
time.
What's the secret to a nice
the
marriage?
secret, I think, being away from each other. No, I think that's not, I mean, the common thing. But all my life I've been away because of my work, and you know, all the respect to her, because she's the one who, when you say brought up a family, I mean, I do my part, and I think a father's love is a bit different than a mother's love. A father's job is to provide. That's how he shows his love. That's how he shows his, and my kids are not the type that, give me a hug, so that, you know, they're tough kids. They know I have to do what I have to do so that they can have a good education and a good life. And my wife has been, you know, amazing in this. She's been raising the family. The 3 kids are
Amazing.
I couldn't have asked for a better partner in my
Do you want
life.
to look at the camera and say something to Sarah?
Sarah, sorry for everything. I mean, I've been away for a while, but hopefully, eventually, I would. My dream is to settle back home.
Lebanon?
Wherever my family is. It could be Lebanon, it could be Paris, it could be Dubai.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, home is where your kids are and your family are. And
100%. I've got a massive painting upstairs that says "Home is where you are," and I grew up between the UK and Nigeria. My mum is Italian.
You're a Niger boy.
Yeah, Nigeria. Don't sabia. Hey, don't sabia. What is she?
Okay.
So, yeah. So Nigeria, UK.
My best friends are from Nigeria.
Oh, really?
So big shout out to all the Jarmakanis, my brothers.
Love that. Big shout out to all of mine as well. The so what I have a big painting upstairs that says "Home is where you are," because I never knew where I really belonged. So where my family is, khalas, I'm like you. Wherever they are, I'm
Listen,
home.
when I go to Beirut, of course, I feel an amazing feeling, especially when my family is around me. But also when I come to Dubai, I've built a life here, which is quite remarkable. I have a quite busy life. With my partners at Seven Management, we built something tremendous, something for the books, something for the future, and we're still at the beginning of it. Now we're expanding in Europe, in the United States, etc. But also, this is my home, and Dubai has become this beautiful place that everyone looks up to, everyone envies, everyone tries to attack because of its brilliance, because of its shiny allure and
But
character.
Dubai's had a tough 2026, right? How does it feel for someone who is?
I mean, this is the biggest stress test.
Yeah, but compared to obviously, it's never been through something like this before. So for you, someone who's just relatively moved here quite recently,
I've been
how do you
to
feel
Dubai for
about
the past 25 years.
Okay.
I mean, I've seen the whole evolution of Dubai,
Yeah.
but I moved permanently 6 years ago. So coming for a show is totally different than actually living in the city. Dubai, you know, everyone was saying that Dubai, the first crisis or the first bad thing that happens, it's going to crumble. 2008 came, which was one of the biggest crises in the history of the world, and you see Dubai not only coming out of it, but coming out of it stronger than ever. Now, what happened? The amounts of attacks that were done on Dubai is abnormal, is not even logical. When 80% maybe of all the attacks done or all the missiles are hit on this one city, it means that this city is a pain in everyone's life because of its advancement in technology, its tolerance, its the way it's governed and everything. And to tell you the truth, even though that I'm Lebanese and I'm here as a resident of this beautiful city, but trust me, I never felt more Emirati than now. I never felt that I was compelled to defend a city as if it was my own, as if I felt I was in Beirut and I was trying to defend Beirut in every way possible. So I think when everyone says that Dubai is mainly made of expats, I refuse this term anymore. You know, we are all citizens of this beautiful city and this beautiful country. And we might not have the passport, but trust me, our devotion and our commitment to Dubai and to the Emirates is all the way.
Well said. You started because you mentioned you do a lot of things, right? You started your life at 4. I mean, and you started doing that in front of some very famous people at a very young age.
Yeah, I was.
You were a child prodigy, Guy. How do you feel when I say that, child prodigy? Does it feel weird when you say that?
It's a beautiful poetic word. But
do you feel it at the time when you look back? Did you feel it at the time?
It's different. I feel that every age has a motivation. And, you know, sometimes when you read a lot of history, and I'm a history buff, I love history, you see how things were done sometimes by mistake, sometimes by an error or something. So luckily I had 2 older brothers, David and Christian, that I adore and I look up to. And they used to take piano lessons, and I was too young to take piano lessons. So the jealousy in me, as I was told, that I was super jealous from them, that I wanted to play like them as well. So it made me, in a way, get attracted to piano. I'm not going to bore you with all the same thing I've been saying it years and years. Then, at an early age, your motivation is to please your parents and to be the favorite and stuff. So the piano was my way.
Are you the favorite?
Yeah, yes, by far. No. They are all loved equally, but I mean, I'm the youngest, so it's normal that I get a bit more attention.
I bet your 2 brothers feel like you are the favorite.
But my brothers, they've always been so supportive of my career. They've always been my defenders, my everything. You know, when I was wrong, they were the first ones to confront me. When I was right, they were the first ones to applaud me. So I'm blessed to tell you, because usually between brothers there will be a lot of jealousy. And me and my brothers, look, when I talk about them, I get a bit emotional. We're very complementary, and each one does his thing. And even though during our lives, you know, you pass through phases where you fight, you disagree, whatever. But as we grow, and I'm 50 years old, I'm the youngest, my brothers are 54 and 56, but we're in constant connection.
It's amazing.
And I pray that we stay like this for the rest of our lives, and our kids would stay like this. But after that, the motivation became the ladies.
Yeah.
I found
what
out.
age? How old were you? 11, 12?
Yeah, something like that.
Started early.
Maybe younger. I don't know.
Still going,
No,
Guy, or is that?
It's always like that.
Okay.
77% of my fans are ladies. And that's good, because men know that in my concerts you have the most beautiful women.
Yeah.
So I found out that all I needed to do was to play, to attract, to...
It's a great way to get women. Let's be honest. It's a great way to get women.
It was not my aim to get women, but it
It was a nice,
you know,
it was a nice,
noticed,
it was a nice added benefit.
Yes, I mean, I don't want to cheapen it trying to score, you know. But I mean, it was kind of it was a great platform for me to.
So how old were you when you played your first concert?
I was very young, 5, 6. I was playing. I was playing concerts within a group of performers.
Paid concert.
16 years old.
So how did that feel as a 16-year-old boy?
It was fantastic. It was. We were expecting, like, because of our connections and my late father's commitment, you know, to my career, maybe we were expecting 300 people, 1,000 people came.
Wow, beautiful.
And that was it, to tell you the truth.
That was
I never looked back from there. In the meantime, then in university, I started studying law just to have something to fall back on, but I never used it. All my life, I've been doing music as my main thing. Of course, I've done many things.
Done a lot of things.
Yeah, next to the music, I've built over 72 buildings. I played a key role in bringing Virgin Radio to Lebanon, and now with the family, we own 2 Virgin Radios in Lebanon. I played a key role in bringing Lotus cars to Lebanon.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, nice.
Yeah, now you know. I'm a car freak. and you know, the basketball and all these things.
But okay, talk me through this, the sort of the mindset of a 16-year-old boy who's playing a concert and then ends up playing basically professional basketball.
I started basketball, I was around 11, 12.
Okay.
At 14, I grew,
Yeah.
like I became what you see today.
Yeah.
And to tell you the truth, the piano, when I used to study piano at the USEC, at the Université Saint-Esprit in Castille, they used to do this yearly concerts. We used to be like 14 girls and me. So at that age, it was a bit embarrassing.
But you were really upset about that.
No, I loved it because I loved the music and I was committed to it, and my parents were very supportive, and you know, I couldn't just leave it because I knew I was good.
Did you ever have a point on your life like, okay, I'm going to either be this or I'm going to be this?
You know, I hate the term jack of all trades. I don't like that term because it's not true. I think that a person can be talented in many things and can succeed in many things. Only the weak can focus on one thing, and they focus on one thing and they want to do this one thing to be great at. Only the weak. I think of myself as a person that can manage a couple of things. I can multitask very well. I'm always very focused. I've never done drugs in my life. It's something I'm super proud of. I'm not a big drinker. I'm a very mild social drinker,
which is surprising for someone who doesn't know you from outside.
I'm super focused on stage. I'm super aware. I'm blessed to have like very high energy, and not in a hyper way, but I'm super focused when I'm in the moment. And I believe that a person on this earth is not, how they say, mulzam, or has to do only one thing, like one thing. He can be a chef and a fantastic painter and a great author at the same time, and a super social guy. And you can do everything. You have to try to do everything. And most of the things I've dabbled in, I don't want to say all the things, but most of the things, I've really succeeded in them. I've done really well.
Do people look at you with envy?
I'm sure, but I mean, that's a compliment for me. I never take it as something bad. I only pray that, like, because I believe in the evil eye and stuff like that a bit, even though I'm super scientific in my head, but I'm still very superstitious. I pray that God protects me from people who envy me, because I take care of a lot of people. Nice. And I want to be healthy. I want to live a long life, not so that I can enjoy it, but so that the people who depend on me keep depending on me, and I keep providing to them, being my community, being my family, being my partners, where I'm not talking about money, I'm talking about input, I'm talking about...
yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
So
usually, Guy, and part of the show, before I go any deeper, I always ask my guests for a safe word. If there's a question they don't feel comfortable answering, what's your safe word? What will you use?
I don't know, Baba. Let's go with Baba.
So speaking of Baba,
because it's my favorite, how they say, title.
What makes a good dad, in your opinion?
Look, I believe that a great mother has to be very emotionally invested. And that's where everything comes from, the emotion side and stuff. I'm a bit old school when it comes to parenting. I believe a father should be a masculine figure, a very strong masculine figure in his children's life, being his sons or daughter, both. It doesn't mean that he needs to punish them or not. I've never punished, or I've never hit my kids or anything like that. But at the same time, I'm friends with them when I need to be friends with them, and I'm strict, and I'm their father when I need to be their father.
Are you worried about the generation? That generation specifically? Growing up?
Listen, living in Lebanon, I think we're good. Trust me, with all the shit that's happening.
Why'd you say that?
Because in Lebanon, you still have core values, especially in schools. Especially in schools. And I say it, and whoever is listening to me here and they have their kids in their schools, in schools here and stuff, they know what I'm talking about. We still have core values. We still have fundamental things, a bit of old school discipline. And that's why you see Lebanese are thriving all across the world. But the Lebanese that are thriving all across the world have all been educated in Lebanon, and they went out from there. So my kids being in Lebanon and being in a very strict school, which I love it. It's called Louise Wegman. It's it's a great school. I think that gives me a bit of comfort. My wife's education and the way she was brought up and the way she is bringing up our kids also gives me a lot of comfort, because that's how I wanted them kind of to be brought up, to respect their elders, to be polite, to be human, at the same time be super ambitious. And I think the ambitious part, they take it from me, because for me it's never enough. Not in a sense that I'm greedy, in a sense that for me the sky is just the beginning.
So let's talk about that. So you obviously, look, you're a basketball player. You were owner or president of the basketball team as well. You're a concert pianist. You're a composer. You're the chief entertainment officer at Hospitality Group. What am I missing? There's other stuff. I'm sure there's other stuff.
And the father.
And obviously you're a full-time dad. You're doing a lot of things and you want to excel at each and every one of them, right? So where did that come from, Guy? Was it from the competitive nature from your brothers? Was it something that you've developed over time? That mindset of wanting to take on everything and be the very best at it?
First of all, I think I got this from my dad. My dad was always an overachiever. His dad passed away when he was just 14. And, you know, as Armenians in Lebanon, you know, we came from nothing. And even though my family had been there for a couple of generations, but they all had to build everything from scratch, you know, after the Armenian genocide. And I think that, I mean, my father's story is a bit interesting as well, because when he was young, he used to paint a lot. And at the age of 14, he used to work as an office boy at Merrill Lynch. But then he got educated, he went to university and came back and worked for Merrill Lynch for years and years. Story. So, and he gave us a beautiful life, a life which was filled with art, which was filled with laughter, which was filled with a lot of culture. And I think I take that part from my father, which is the ambition, which is wanting to have a better life for yourself and the people around you. Never take no for an answer. Never let anyone tell you you can do or not do this thing. From my mother's side, I took a lot of. She is still, and her family were pure class, and I took that from her side. Her patience, her strength, her calm and soft power. You know, she never raises her voice, but she gets whatever she wants. And the combination of these things. And from my brothers, I took this competitive edge. But everything has a reason, Luca. The basketball thing, you say it, but you don't know the background of it. You say it, and a lot of people like you don't know why I did it. There's a reason why I did it. There's a reason why I invested millions and millions of dollars, and I brought in millions of dollars in order to do what I did. The Homenetmen, which is the club I'm in, was established in 1918. So it's a 108-year-old club. It's a huge club. It was established as a scouting organization, and then it became the refuge, and it became the go-to place or go-to club for the Armenians in the diaspora. And the Armenians were spread out all across the world. The Homenetmen is found in maybe 57 countries. It's one of the biggest clubs in the world. When I was very young, I was in the scouts of Homenetmen. At the age of 12 or 13, I went to the junior team, basketball team. After it, I went to the first division team, and I played up till 2002 when my hands were a bit in danger because of the basketball, and I couldn't take the risk, and the insurance companies were.
I was going to tell you, your fingers insured.
Yeah, exactly. They were. So
they still insured now?
I had to stop so that I don't hurt myself. But the Homenetmen kept me away from everything. You know, at the beginning of our conversation, I told you I never do drugs. I don't excessively drink. And all this because all my concern was to play good basketball, to be a good athlete and stuff. And the word Homenetmen, it's an abbreviation of 4 letters, which is Ho Men et Men, Hi Marmnagar Tagan and Tanur Mutyun. It means this is the society for the physical education and to keep your body and to protect your body. So when the team went down to second division in 2005, 2004, I was not even playing, but I didn't have the means.
That's probably why they went down.
No, playing. I was never a good player, by the way. I was an okay player. I was a hustler. I was a fighter. I was a great defender. But I mean, I was never a basketball star, and I admit it, and I'm not ashamed of it. But I had the best times of my life in basketball, and it helped my music career, by the way, because it taught me how to work within a group. It taught me how to have a collective feel of things, which today I use in all my businesses and with my teams and my musicians. But the thing is, when I started making some serious money, I felt that it's my duty to, and the motto, by the way, of the club is rise and raise. It's a beautiful motto. It means first you take care of yourself, you rise, and when you're up, you raise everyone with you. And I felt that this club was deteriorating the basketball, and basketball in Lebanon is huge, and everyone, even the Armenian fans, which we have one of the biggest fan bases in Lebanon, they were being scattered in other teams. Even before me having kids, it was horrible. It was a terrible feeling for me to see that my club, my people, were being scattered across other teams. And I took the decision to slowly build the team back. I started helping a bit the second division team. We were in second division now, just to keep them alive. Until 2011, 2012, I took full control of the team. I did a press conference, and I told them in 5 years, in 2018 and 2017-18 season, which would have been the 100th anniversary of the Homenet Men, I told them we are going to win the championship. It was a huge, stupid statement from a team which is in second division. Imagine, I'm telling them I'm going to win the first division championship in 5 years on our 100th anniversary, because we are Homenet Men, and I did a huge press conference. Everyone came because it was me, but no one used to take the team seriously. And fast forward to 2018, we won a historical treble, which was the Lebanese Championship, the Lebanese Cup, and the Arab World's Champions, which was, I'm lucky I did it because it gave me a lot of credibility that this guy, if he says it, he's going to do it. But I feel blessed and I'm lucky, and it took a lot of effort. It took a lot of, sacrifices from everyone, including my family, for us to win this.
Look, it's
no one can take away from us. It is our legacy. We said we're going to do it. We did it. Until now, I'm telling you, if we decide any minute, now our team is in 5th position. We start playing now again. The league had
You just signed a giant, right?
We just signed a giant.
2 meters 36.
Yes, he's the tallest player in the world now.
That's nuts.
But the thing is, if we decide to win a championship, we will win the championship.
So that's the mindset.
That's the mindset. And no, factual. We can do it if we want to do it.
What is the reaction of those players when they are hearing this or when you're telling them this? Can you tell within an instant whether this person is actually can believe in themselves enough to rise up, and so you can separate out basically the losers from the winners? I'm going to give you names. That mindset.
I'm going to give it was not about players. I didn't have the players yet.
Okay, so
I had a coach, a Serbian coach.
Okay.
He was sitting next to me. I made him wear a suit.
Yeah.
I wore a suit and the tie. I changed the whole way how people used to look at our club. Our club, even though it was a historic club, but they used to overlook it in a way in basketball. There's a very prominent journalist who is still the main guy in basketball today. His name is Ghayas Dibra. You need to interview him one day. He's an amazing guy. He's huge in basketball. And he was there. And other people, also journalists who are still working today, they told me, President, it's very nice what you're saying, but you have to go up to 1st division first, right? You know that, right? Yeah. I told them, yes. And you are now filming this, right? And you are writing about it. And I'm telling you, true, we are in 2nd division now, but in 2018, we are going to be champions.
Because you can tell a lot from people, because you have an amazing vision, right? Very clear direction, what
you want. I had a 5-year plan.
But you can see from around you who's with you and who isn't, who believes in what you're saying and who doesn't. So you could probably culturally understand these people, they have that winning mentality, and these people probably don't. It's probably an easy way for you to start to sort of filter out the wrong talent and bring in the right kind of talent to achieve that.
I've always had a great team around me. I've had my assistant who's been with me since he was 16 years old. Now he's 44. He was one of the first people who was next to me. A lot of very good friends, my family especially. And then I was blessed by an amazing coach who was my childhood friend. We've been friends since 1992. He took over the team in 2015, 15, I guess. And that was like the push. But listen, the basketball thing is a very extensive thing. It can be a Netflix series.
I'm with you.
Because I was fought a lot. I had to leave the team in 2014. I was pushed out by the club itself.
Why?
Jealousy. I was becoming too big. Until now,
you were bigger than the club.
No one's bigger than the club.
At the time, were you perceived to be bigger than the club?
No, I was bigger than some people who were trying to control the club, and they didn't have my vision. My vision is a vision of greatness. My vision, I look at my people as the greatest people in the world. We are, first of all, Lebanese, and second of all, of Armenian origin. Armenian people have been around for more than 6,000 years. Armenia is the first Christian state to ever be in the world. There's a lot of history behind it. There's a lot of pride. And I felt that our people needed something to cling to, and I looked at it as more than basketball.
How do you see yourself in relation to the Armenian people? Like, how do you see your own role with helping the Lebanese who are also Armenian?
I mean, it's not for me to say.
It is for you to say. How do you see yourself?
But I see myself that there's a lot of responsibility on me. And I see myself that I have a lot to do. And I am going to do.
Do you want that responsibility?
Yes, of course, I want that responsibility. Because, as I told you before, the main success in life, it's not the fame or the money. It's how you make people feel around you and how much you can lift people. And I think that especially in politics, because you're going to hear sooner or later, but I am going into politics.
I'm not shocked by this.
Yeah. I'm going into politics because I feel that my people have been abused by, in Lebanon.
Who's abusing them?
By non-Armenians, by people who might have only an Armenian name, but they have nothing to do with Armenians. I can introduce you to a lot of people who are not Armenian, and they sympathize in a way which is incredible, or they help. You know that 80% of my sponsors of the home management team, of the Lebanese-Armenian team, are non-Armenians. These people, for me, are much more dedicated to our cause, to our schools, to our clubs, to our Red Cross, to our institutions, than people who are hijacking parliamentary seats in the name of the Armenians and doing jack shit.
Yeah,
to
the Lebanese basketball scenario has always been very political, right? Very politically charged.
It is. Listen, it's about power. And for me, basketball, when I was asked that, why are you doing this? Like, why are you putting in so much money and effort and stuff? I told them it's never about the ball. It's never about the trophies. It's about self-esteem. It's about showing that there's nothing written. Because when I took over the team, they told me, there are these two teams, Sages and Riyadi. These are the two big teams. They will never.
How much does that annoy you?
Give it to you. Sages have never won anything in the last 25 years. How much does that annoy you when you're
hearing these are the only two teams?
That's my people told me that.
Yeah.
My people told me, like, don't be stupid. They will never give it to you. I was like, who is giving what to who? I take whatever I want, and I will take it, and I took it. Against all odds.
What's your reputation in the basketball scene?
That I fight a lot. Listen, I fight in both senses. On the court, I'm very impulsive. I'm not an artist. I become
a warrior,
a thug. More. But
off the court,
and off the court, they know that when I don't react, that's when they get scared. They know that I would be scheming and like preparing something.
Is there anything that you wouldn't do to win and to help raise the profile of the Armenian people is cheat. That's the red line for you.
That's the red line. No, we would never cheat. We would never jeopardize the integrity because Homenet men and myself and the way I'm brought up is that تعرف نحن بالعربي بدي لك إياها بالحلال يعني ما بنتهنى بالحرام بدنا نتهنى. So for me, winning fair and square, that's the most important thing. For me, putting up a fight is much more important than winning or losing. And when we won the championship, Luca, I was asked a question, and it's on everything I'm telling you. It's actually recorded. It's on YouTube. You can find, if you research it, you find it. There's a journalist called Walid Damyati, who was a great player. I think it was him or another guy called Anthony Mazdaleni. I was drenched in champagne, there was smoke all over. It was euphoric, The club had never won a championship. On our 100th anniversary, we won it against Riyadi. I didn't want to win it against anyone else. I didn't want a weak team. I wanted to win the best team. That was what made it important. So he told me, President, how happy are you today to win the championship? I told him, winning the championship is not the main reason why I'm happy. It's not this tin cup that we won. Why I'm happy is that tonight 10,000 Guy Manoukians were born. The kids that saw us doing this is all documented on TV, on YouTube. It's everywhere. It's not a myth. We did it. You can go on YouTube and see it. And years after now, you have 10,000 people like me who are going to do such a huge impact and are going to lift our club to such great heights, and one of them being my sons.
See, I don't think it's about basketball at all. I think basketball is the tool.
It's about self-esteem.
Yeah, it's about the basketball is the tool, right? It's the vehicle.
It's always been about self-esteem. Always. It's always been about keeping our people together. It was always about keeping everyone united and having
Why is that so important to you, though, Guy? Why is that? Because look, I get your dad was a big inspiration.
Because we cannot lose our identity. Today,
but why does that matter to you more than it does potentially to other people, other Armenians who are living in Lebanon?
I'm telling you something. I'm the most fanatic, patriotic Lebanese you can ever meet, and I am like that because I have Armenian origins. Armenia and the Armenian people. We've been through a genocide. You need to understand this. And this, like the Jews, it changes your mindset. It changes the whole way you look at life. So for us, Lebanon is not our second home, our second country. We are essential pillars of this country, of Lebanon. And wherever we go, we have this full integration. I have a great friend here. I don't want to name his name because he works with the government. If you see his Lebanese-Armenian, if you see his commitment to the country of the Emirates, to the United Emirates, you feel that this comes because of his Armenian origins. Armenians are like that. Wherever they go, even if they're in France,
they assimilate into the country.
They assimilate into, and they become patriotic to the country that hosted them. And for me, I wanted to keep this bond of the Lebanese Armenians together strong, and make our club stronger and our schools stronger in order that we can benefit our country, Lebanon, more.
So what's your ambition in politics? What do you want to achieve?
Unfortunately, when you become a member of parliament, you're representing the whole Lebanon, per se. But in fact, every sect tries to help out their people and stuff. I think there's a huge gap in our community, and especially in the community in Beirut, because I will be running in Beirut and for Beirut. My big plan is going to be the Beirut Opera. This is my big plan, because a country filled with so much culture, and
talent.
We are proud of how cultured we are and how sophisticated we are. At the same time, we don't have an opera house in Beirut that can really. And now I'm invited to play at the Rabat Opera House, which was designed by Zaha Hadid, which is beautiful. I'm the most artist that has ever played at the Dubai Opera on the 11th of December. It's my 10th time at the Dubai Opera.
It's amazing.
So I think this is going to be one of my main projects. Of course, sports is going to be at the core of my other projects. Concerts, festivals, culture. small music programs, music for everyone, music accessibility for everyone without paying money. This is going to be another of my programs. And my biggest thing is going to be public education, because I believe that today not everyone can leave an inheritance for his children. The best thing you can give your children, and even my job, I cannot inherit my job to my kids, because I'm an artist. The best thing I can do for them is to give them the best education I can give them. And after that, they should find the joy in making money and making a living. So a lot of people in Lebanon, especially in Beirut, are deprived from this basic thing, because the level of the schools is not good enough for them to achieve big things in their lives. So I'm going to make the public school the best school in Lebanon. I'm going to make the public school the school where you will have to have a huge waiting list just to get into, better than the private schools themselves.
You can only do that.
So this is a dream.
It's a big one.
Yeah, you can do it by hiring the right people to do it.
But you need the country to be safe. You need the country to not be at war. So
I think the country
what's your
is
outlook?
for once, even though we are at war. Listen, if you have cancer, you cannot treat it by 2 Panadols. You need...
Does Lebanon have cancer?
Lebanon has not stage 4, maybe stage 44 of cancer. Okay, but we still have hope. Lebanon is a country where the Christ has walked on its soil, where the Virgin Mary has walked on its soil. It's a land which I consider holy land. It's the Lebanon and the cedars of Lebanon have been mentioned in the Bible many times. I think Lebanon is a mission in itself, and nothing can kill Lebanon. And the beauty of Lebanon, it's diversity. Lebanon would never be Lebanon without its Muslims, and Lebanon would never be. I said this actually when I was in London. I was hosted by the Lebanese ambassador there. I told her that you would never be a true Lebanese Muslim if you don't have a bit of Christianity in you, and you would never be a true Lebanese Christian if you don't have a bit of Muslim in you. And what makes us special is this bond and is this diversity, and I believe in that.
Pope John Paul famously said that, right?
Pope John Paul said that Lebanon is a risale, and it's not a message. It's a mission.
It's an example or a mission.
It's an example and a mission, and nothing can kill Lebanon. There's no substitute for Lebanon. Lebanon, for me, is geographically one of the most beautiful countries in the world. Where it is placed between the East and the West, the sophistication of the Lebanese person, the diversity of his character and of his culture makes us very special. That's why you see Lebanese people are successful all around the world, because they adapt quickly, they're highly educated.
But will Lebanon, I'm with you in all of this, can Lebanon ever experience sustained
For the
peace
first time
and growth?
Ever, Luca, we are on the right path. We are on the path of peace. If you ask me personally, I tell you, of course, I want peace. I'm not telling you that I'm going to jump in bed tomorrow with Israel, but I want peace. And from there on, we'll see how things goes, because at the end of the day, also you have to consider that the war has been going on for a very long time. And when two lovers even quarrel, when they want to get back together, they don't jump in bed the second day. They start to knowing each other
Buy
again.
some flowers, go out for a nice meal.
Yeah, we start, and then they decide maybe it's not a good idea to get back together. You stay there, I stay here.
Let's keep it civil. We'll keep it civil.
Yeah, what I'm saying that for the first time ever, we are on the right path for peace.
Inshallah.
And Lebanon is not a country that can afford to go into war. Lebanon is not a country that can afford to have a geopolitical, agenda and how they say. Ideas or even anything to say.
Yeah.
We have to focus on our country. We are a country that can have a lot of services. from banking to tourism. We can be great middlemen for everyone. We can benefit a lot. And Lebanese people have always mastered this craft.
Not to mention the nightlife, which we'll get onto. Guy, we have some questions here, right? There are 6 of them. Let's fire through them. Let's power through them. I would love to get your initial take. Try not to stick, don't stick on the fence. Try and pick a side. Let me know what you think. Go for it. Bag is yours.
Masterpitch training is a little bit different to other training programs. Our job is to get you in and out as quickly and as effectively as possible. In just 4 sessions, you're going to go from a confident speaker, potentially, into an incredible speaker. We do that with a FAME approach. F stands for foundation building. All the information that you need to know in just 3 hours. The A stands for authentic voice. We're going to help you unlock what your real voice is and how you need to present for the rest of your life. The M stands for mobilizing. We start to mobilize you to think and act and present differently. And lastly, E for empowered speaker. In the final session, you're going to leave us feeling confident, feeling empowered, and ready to conquer.
Okay, is the Lebanese nightlife and entertainment culture the best in the world?
Okay.
Why? Why not?
Okay. Is it the best in the world?
By far.
Why?
And I've been all around the world.
It's by far the best in the world.
Because it's genuine partying. It's not a show-off partying. It's Lebanese people genuinely like to party. And I'm not... Listen, the thing is that people confuse partying with partying. Like they think partying...
What's partying?
It
What's
means
partying?
Tiesto vibe or whatever. Because a partying can be in a small village with Lebanese music. It's not about partying. It's about the love of life. And the Lebanese... The question is not accurate. Lebanese nightlife and entertainment. Entertainment can be a card game at a house. It would be the most entertaining thing you've ever seen in your life.
Okay, and the nightlife?
This all consists of a nightlife. It can be a beautiful dinner in a small cafe in Jemaise, but the music in the background, the people coming in, the sophistication and the beauty of the Lebanese people, the subjects that they talk together, this is what makes it the best nightlife. It is the whole thing. It is a walk. It is a conversation.
So
it's a theater.
So how would you explain that?
It's a night out.
How would you explain it to someone who's never been to Lebanon? Like, if they ask you describe, Beirut's nightlife, like, how would you even begin to explain it to someone
It's the most beautiful
who's
summer day.
who's from the US or who's from Australia or whatever the case is?
With all my respect to all the countries that I've been to, and I've been to.
Okay, top five cities for partying,
I've
right?
played
Top
concerts.
5 cities. Let's name them. Top 5 cities for actual.
Lebanon definitely number 1.
Okay, number 2.
London.
Okay, you put the number 2. Okay.
New York.
Okay.
Dubai.
Really? Okay.
And number 5.
What about the legacy places like Ibiza or new places like
Not
Mykonos?
not my vibe. It's too pretentious.
What about in Greece?
Athens. They're a bit like Lebanon. Yeah. I mean, the Greeks are more Lebanese than Europeans, trust me.
Yeah. So Beirut's number 1.
By far.
By far. But again, it's really difficult to explain this because I've had the same challenge. I grew up in the UK and I'm explaining to my British friends why Beirut is second to none in the world. And I partied a lot in different places. What is it? You are a chief entertainment, which by the way, you have the best title ever. Chief entertainment officer. Like, it's amazing. Why is it the best entertainment? Like,
because it is, first of all, the amount of things you can do in a single night are incredible.
Variety.
I mean, if I can just like tell you now, I can give you a typical night,
We're going out. We're going to go out.
Let's take it from like afternoon, like late afternoon. There's amazing places where you have like a cool shisha, you play your tawle, but it's a social thing. So the party starts there, Then you jump, you say, it's early, let's go have a drink. You go to places like Jemaise or Maram Khayel. And
at around 9 or 10, right?
No, here you're around 8.
Okay.
Then, let's have a bite. You will go and have the most beautiful dinner or bite on a small rooftop in Ashrafia, like the Albergo or whatever. Then you walk around and then you say, okay, now I'm going to start partying. Now,
what time is it?
Now it's around like 11.
Okay.
You go to like one of our places, like Saif or Antica Bar, which are like absolutely bonkers, you know, and you finished it. That's an Oriental kind of party. It's a mix. So imagine how many types of things you've seen and all the
How many doo-doo shots have you had by this point?
Old doo-doo, that's like, man, you're old school.
Man, I am old school. I'm catching you up.
Doo-doo.
You don't do
No,
doo-doos
I don't
anymore?
do doo-doo anymore.
What do you mean you don't do
We
doo-doos?
stopped it in 93.
What do you mean you stopped in 93? Sacrilege.
So, yeah.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
Anyway, so the thing is that the distances between the places are also very short.
Yeah, it
so
helps.
you're doing so many things. You finished from, like, let's say Antica Bar at 2 a.m. with, a belly dancer was going, and then you end up in a like hardcore club, where DJs like all the DJs love to come to Lebanon with fraction of
Who's
the
the
money.
best
By
DJ?
the way,
Who's the best DJ in the world?
I'm not a big DJ fan, but
Who would you go and want to listen to or pay money to listen to?
Richie Houghton.
Okay.
These are from my wife. Like she introduced me to this Carl Cox. I like also. There's this DJ I saw in Ibiza once. She was opening for Richie Houghton. Her name is Hiro. I don't know if she's still around or she's like Japanese or something.
Okay.
I like this happy house kind of feel.
Okay.
But the thing is, what I'm trying to tell you, that what started with the Tauli game, with the backgammon game at 5, ends 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. in the morning with you wearing sunglasses and looking at the snow on the mountain and the beach next to you. And
Thing is, if you're a European, right, you can't even begin to understand this.
no, you will fall in love with Lebanon.
Yeah.
By far.
Love it. Do you reckon tourism, Lebanese tourism, the nightlife is one of its biggest pulling powers to the country? How much are you going to be playing that sort of the nightlife card to help attract
Tourism is on
and
the
investment?
right. Tourism has always been good in Lebanon for one simple reason, that the biggest clients of Lebanon are the Lebanese themselves.
Yeah.
You have maybe 10 to 12 million Lebanese outside of Lebanon. In Arabic there's a saying called ta'laqat.
What does that mean?
If you taste once, you're gonna be addicted.
Like doo-doos.
It's an addictive country.
You're not convinced on the doo-doos. Come on, Guy.
Listen, I have this theory regarding Lebanon.
Okay.
Okay, I think we took a bit of more.
Let's hear it.
People who have the relationship with Lebanon, it's when this beautiful girl is in love with the worst guy ever. Toxic. He steals from her. He cheats on her. He hits her sometimes. He's the worst person ever. All her friends tell her to leave him. Her parents beg her to leave him. But she tells them that I'm in love with him. I cannot leave him. Unfortunately, our relationship with Lebanon is a very toxic relationship. Lebanon is a country that has always betrayed us in politics, in its decisions, in the wars. It's a country that has stolen from us relentlessly over the years, excessively. It is a country that has cheated on us day after day. But it's a country that we are hopelessly and in love with. And I don't know if this is a good thing or if we need therapy.
That's
a fact.
Yeah, I love it. It's a human thing, right?
Yeah,
it's a very human thing.
Anyway,
Love that. Beautiful.
next question.
Power through.
As AI music rises, what role would live performances play in keeping alive human connection? Wow. AI is just helping live performances, ask me. The more AI is getting advanced and it's beautiful and it helps you create your ideas, it gets, like, for example, before, if I had an idea, I had to beg 10 people and arrangers and producers to help me prepare a demo. Today, I can just sing my idea and it comes out as a demo. I can take it from there and work it. Listen, anything in technology, if you know how to use it in the right way, it will only help humanity. It will only make things better. But when it comes to live performances, AI will only make live performances more important. Like today, when you find a car which has a manual stick, it is much more expensive when you buy a Ferrari manual or an Aston Martin or then automatic
I haven't
version.
got a Ferrari yet or an Aston Martin, but I'll take your word.
Hopefully you'll
I'll
have one.
Take your
but
word.
I think after this,
Akid.
So what I'm saying that tomorrow people, in the future, people are going to, first of all, because of AI, people are going to start making money in an easier way, in a faster way. They will want to be entertained more. And no one likes fake entertainment.
Yeah.
You need this human connection. You need it to be
100%.
live. So I'm very glad with AI, and I wanted to get more advanced and everything, because at the end of the day, AI cannot go up on stage and play like
And
I
those
play.
live performances, we're going to crave them more and more.
They're going to
and
get
more.
more expensive. Ticket prices are going to get more expensive.
But it's good for the musicians because they can't make any money
Yeah,
elsewhere. I had Tanya Cassis. I don't know if you know Tanya.
Yeah, of course.
She
Oh, no,
was
she's
telling
a
me like
friend.
the biggest thing now is she needs those live performances, like every singer, because everything else is honestly through AI
What does she need?
democratized. More live performances, right? That's
course.
Concerts are the fundamental way now
course.
that these performers make money.
Did the athlete's mentality build your success, or did your success fuel that mentality? I think it's no. The athlete's mentality built my. I'm a very competitive person, extremely competitive in anything. I compete with myself, even sometimes on the plane. If I'm playing a game, like I don't play games. I play these Who Wants to Be a Millionaire trivia
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah.
I love it.
Do you ever ask for help for people
I'm
next to
really
you?
good in it.
Do you ask people for help sometimes?
Sometimes when I'm on the last questions, but I've won millions, like bullshit, millions, not real money. So I love, but I always challenge myself, and I think this comes from my my athlete's mentality.
So had you not been in basketball, had you not been like sort of competing,
Yeah.
how would you have turned out differently?
Definitely, I would have been in arts for sure, because this is something I think I believe that every person is built is born with the talent. Like it's a God-given.
What's your talent?
The lucky ones are the ones who find their talents. I found my talent. My talent was music and piano. But I believe that people search all their lives to find their talent. And I truly believe, like how you have a steering wheel in a car, like every car has a steering wheel. I believe every person that is born, how you are born with this specific DNA or a specific fingerprint, every person is born with a talent. But the lucky ones and the stars are the ones who are lucky enough to find their talents. And this comes also from
And then
your
do something
home,
about it.
And they do something about it. And this comes from your home, from your environment, from everything. But I believe that every person has a God-given talent.
A lot of people they kind of know what they're good at, but they don't have the courage to go and do it. What would you tell them?
That's a talent in itself. Having the courage. It needs a bit of not craziness, but courage. It needs courage, and and I believe it all comes from home. If you are raised in a home where everything is very well calculated and not take risks and that kind of mentality, it affects the kids that play it safe. You know, there are some things I cannot say on air, like some Lebanese sayings, but you can explain it like one bird in hand is better than two on a tree, or you know, this kind of mentality shapes maybe good bankers.
They say the most important thing you can teach your kids is bravery, right? Because you can't.
Yeah, bravery, not stupidity.
Yeah.
There's a different. There's a
There is
thin line.
Yeah.
Because
But bravery
between-
is a really important
No,
aspect.
with my kids, I'm always very worried about them, especially when they're
Even
driving.
Luca, you're worried about Luca? No, he's good.
Well, Luca's crazy, but when they're driving and stuff, like I'm always worried. I'm over worried for things like when they're skiing or stuff. Like I tell them, you have nothing to prove. Don't try to be heroes. Don't try to do something crazy that you will regret. Like I am very courageous. I'm very whatever you want, but I'm not stupid.
So in the corporate world right now, people are losing their jobs. There's AI is coming. It's going to put a lot of
We're
pressure on
doubling
certain
down.
industries. So for people who are now trying to think about, okay, they're in their 40s or late 30s, even 50s potentially, and they're like, okay, what do I do now? And they've always kind of had this talent within them, but they've never really had that bravery or the courage to do so.
It should push you to listen when you're put in a corner. And I think AI today is putting a lot of people in the corner. You have two choices. You either give up to AI, because trust me, AI is doing the job, especially the entry-level jobs. You don't need them anymore. So you either give up or you fight back. You learn AI, you work on yourself, you become an essential part of the organization you are working in. You make yourself indispensable for the organization you are working in. And at the end of the day, the organization or the company will do what's right for itself. And yesterday, it's funny that you asked me this question, because at the time of uncertainty, especially in this region, yesterday we had a big Zoom call, and our CEO, big shout out to Rabia, he told me we are doubling down on Dubai. We are opening in the coming few months 8 new venues in Dubai. So when you have like a CEO like that and a leader like that within the company, also it helps. So the leadership is very important for the people who are working in a company. They look up to and they take the cues and the guides from there. So if AI is this big of a threat, you need to have leaders that can show you the way and the path how to beat that or how to benefit from this technology to your own good and make yourself better. Is the value in the pure artistic skill or in how much the audience enjoys the entertainment?
So where's the value really? Is it in the actual, the skill of the individual?
In my case, and I'm not ashamed to say it, that I'm an entertainer. And my forte, my strong side is that I know what people want.
What do people want?
To be entertained. They want the experience. I mean, if obviously you haven't seen me live. So
I haven't seen you live, no, I've seen only on videos.
When you watch me live, you will understand that I'm super energetic on stage. I play the songs that people really like. They are the true stars of the show and not me. I'm just there to facilitate.
You're the vehicle.
Yeah, to facilitate this experience. And I love what I do. I love entertaining people. I don't bring them to my shows to give them a lecture, talk to them about values or anything. I tell them, listen, life is hard. You are going through a lot of shit. Okay, these 2 hours, let us forget everything and let's have fun and see the beauty in life.
I love that. If you miss a key, a note, whatever the case
doesn't matter.
That doesn't bother you. Later on, he doesn't go, oh, you know.
Yeah, of course. I'm very like.
That's what I'm thinking. Like you're competitive. You want to do really
extremely
well.
Competitive.
But if they loved it, who cares?
Listen, even with my musicians, sometimes after the show ends and I'm like pissed, and the show would have been like great, and they tell me like, boss, like the show was amazing. I tell them, yes, but there's this, we could have done better. No one noticed, but I noticed, and if I notice,
does that affect your performance? Does it stay in the back of your mind?
It doesn't affect my performance because I know how to I've learned not to ruin the moment for my musicians. For example, all my musicians are fantastic. They've been with me for over 26 years, but sometimes they do something wrong and
shit happens.
I've learned not to react directly, to say it in a way or let it pass, because the musician is an artist and they need to enjoy the moment, and it's unfair for me to point out one single thing when they've done a million things so good. But later on, after a few days, I tell them, the concert was great, but this thing, you could have done it better. I did something wrong by mistake. I forgot. I was thinking of the song after that. And the most important thing, and I learned this from basketball, is to admitting when you are wrong and to humble yourself, especially in front of people who are working for you and they are working with you. Because in music, it is not like you got somebody, a laborer or something. It is a shared moment that you are building together and you are creating together. It's a whole collective energy that the audience are receiving from you. So I've learned to be calm. I've learned to compliment first, wait a bit, and then give remarks.
Before you go on stage, do you still get nervous?
I was never nervous.
You never got nervous? Even when you were a 16-year-old doing your first ever concert?
Anxious, not nervous. Anxious, happy. I just want to get on stage.
Excited. They always say there's a thin line between nervousness and excitement.
Yeah, I'm always excited. I can't wait.
Okay.
Because I know that once I start, it's done.
خلاص. ما تخافيش.
How do you amplify Arabic music globally while preserving its authentic roots locally? Also, you need to come and watch my shows. Actually, tonight I'm playing. You're more than welcome to come to the show. And I fell in love with Arabic. All my life, I used to play classical music till I was like 16 years old. And all my life, I've lived on pop music, from Michael Jackson to ABBA to Fleetwood Mac to Dire Straits and all these things that my father used to like and I used to listen.
He's got good taste, your dad.
Yeah, my father's good taste. And then I was introduced to Arabic music by a song called Haramt Ahabbak for Warda Jazairiya. It was the first cassette or CD I bought, and I bought it. I was a bit kind of ashamed that I never used to listen to Arabic music and stuff, and I fell in love with the beauty of it. And then I started composing. Everything I was doing was arabesque. I was always leaning towards that. Even the classical music that I was playing, when I used to go to my teachers, I used to change them and عربهم, and make them all try to do them Arabic. And I mixed East and West, basically, in a nutshell. Now it's much more complicated than that. And I created something new, which is the modern Arabic music. And it is something that, as a young generation, you can relate to, with the chord progressions, which are very rock or Western influence, or influence from Bach, who is the father of.
So for you, it's not about protecting the authenticity of the local. It's more about trying to.
No, it's about having
amplifying,
giving it a global reach,
okay.
and showing the world the mystique and the enigma of our music and of our ideas.
Who's done more for Arabic music than anybody else? To sort of push out to the world.
All of the Arabic artists, like the Egyptians, have done a lot. With Abdul Halim and Kulthum and the Lebanese have done, like, per capita, I think the Lebanese by far the most, because the amount of art that they've given the Arab world in a country of 2.5 million back then, now we are 4 or 5 million, is huge per capita. But I think
is there a single name
Egypt,
that stands out?
For me, Fairuz, of course, is by far, after Fairuz, Kulthum and the rest, but Fairuz by far is.
Where'd you put yourself on that list?
I'm just a small soldier.
Guy, come on, where'd you put yourself?
Trust me,
You top 10?
I'm not in a position to put myself anywhere. History in the future will. First of all, I'm an instrumentalist. I'm one of the first people who took this to a pop star status. Being able to play the piano without singing and having 120 shows
How's
a year.
Your voice, by the way? How's your voice?
Not bad. I mean,
karaoke song. What's your karaoke song of choice?
I like Elton John's "Your Song."
Go for it.
No,
the mic's yours.
No.
It's a little bit funny.
No. Should a child prodigy be carefully nurtured in private, or openly uploaded as they grow? Openly uploaded as they grow, because you put the pressure on him.
It's dangerous. Isn't that a bit dangerous? You were 4 when you were playing in front of politicians,
At
right?
6, I was playing the presidential palace.
There you
At 8,
go.
I won my first.
But that's.
I won my first competition.
But you can see why people would think that's dangerous to put a lot of a kid on a kid.
It depends about the surround. It comes down to the parenting. It comes down to grounding the kid. Me, I was always. Okay, I knew I had a talent, I knew I had something, but I was always grounded, I was always put in my place, I was always kind of, not treated with special conditions, or I didn't have, like, sometimes if I got a bad grade, I used to put the card in front of my father and go sit on the piano. He used to look at it, he used to come and tell me, like, there's going to be 1 million doctors, 1 million lawyers. There's never going to be another one like you. That's what he used to always tell me. He used to make me feel comfortable that it's okay if I didn't get a good grade in school. So
you mentioned your dad many times during this interview.
Yeah, because I was very close to my dad.
So what would your dad say? What would he say about you now, looking at your life and what you've achieved at the age of 50? Like, what would he say?
I think he would have told me, "I told you so," because he used to always tell me. Even when I was in, our family business is in real estate development. We're the biggest real estate developer in Lebanon. And at a certain point, I was driven. I loved development. I loved building buildings. And I did over 72 buildings in development, in construction. And so I know a lot about it. And it was always artistic, by the way. The names of the buildings, the architecture, they always had something special. And now the family continues this business. We have the Beit Masik project, which is the biggest project in Lebanon. But even my wife, every time I used to drift a bit towards construction, she used to tell me in Arabic, "Listen, I married an artist, not a batonje." That helped me. That made me feel comfortable that I can still do what I love, which was art. And after the blast in Beirut, the bomb blast of the port, I went back to 100% full-time, only music and art, and I joined Seven Management and became a partner.
So if for people out there who have kids who are 3 or 4 years of age, who are super talented, your advice to them is to celebrate that talent,
Of course.
and not to try and hold them back in order to protect them from potentially having their dreams
hold them
broken.
back. Of course not. Push them forward as much as you can. And we're not talking about only musical talent. We're talking about
everything.
talent in everything. The other day I met some people. They have their son, 17 or 18 years old, amazing chef. Okay, the guy is going to do finance or whatever, but the guy is talented. The boy is like super talented. And I'm telling you, talent is not only talent can be in creating a program like this. You know, the most important thing is for you to live what you love.
Yeah.
And not live someone else's life, whatever you want to do. Because if you're passionate about something and you're happy in what you do, you will succeed.
I love that.
I feel you have an extra ball.
There's one more. There's a seventh. There's a blank ball. There's nothing on it. There's no question. Look, you've had an incredible life, man. You've followed your dreams. You're living your dreams. You're 50 years of age. You're looking great, by the way.
Thank you.
Your fingers look fantastic. How much are they insured for? I'd be very curious.
I cannot say.
But based on everything that you've been through, everything that you've done, you've achieved, like, what is that one insight, that one message that you'd love to share with people?
Not to be afraid from failure. Because even though you're only celebrating my successes today, but I'm sure I failed a lot in my life. I've made so many wrong decisions that I don't talk about because I've paid for them. I've paid for them with time and money. Decisions in business, in investments, sometimes in choice of venues, choice of partners.
You trusted the wrong people?
Trusted the wrong people. But the most important thing I've learned in my life, that I am always the added value in any relationship. And this is very important for people to build in their character. They need to understand that they are the added value in every relationship, in every business deal, in everything they do. If something goes wrong and the partner or anything moves away, they're the ones that are going to lose at the end of the day, because you are always the added value if you are sure of what you are doing. And once I understood this and I accepted this and I live with this pattern and this dogma, nothing affects me because I know myself. So I ask people to risk, not to play it safe all the time, because the biggest risk in life is when you don't take any risks. You would be risking everything. Yeah. Second of all, to always consider themselves as the added value without being pretentious, to know exactly what is their added value and what is their forte, to focus on these points. And other than that, to always be positive, to always have a kind heart, to always lift people around them, because that is the true wealth that people can take.
Raise them up, huh?
Raise them up.
Love that.
Rise and raise.
Gia, it's been great having you.
Thank you.
I hope I raised your spirits up to your long flight.
I'm still tired.
I can feel it. Have I done enough to convince you on the mug? Going back to how we started, have I done enough? It's happening.
On one condition.
Okay, let's hear it. It's a loan. It can be a loan, by the way.
No, it's not a loan. I'm going to give you.
It can be a loan.
I'm going to give you the mug.
Habib, it's very kind.
But
I'll have some doo-doos out of it. I'll put a doo-doo.
But you have to send me another cool mug that you would choose.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds very cool. I like that.
Cool.
Mate, I wish you all the very best.
Thank you so much.
You've got politics coming up. I'm sure you're going to kick ass in all the concerts you've got coming up. I'm sure if you get on the basketball court, you're still pretty good and you're still hustling. And I wish you all the best, man. Like, it's been great having you.
Thank you very much, Luca. Thank you for having me. And I can't wait to come back again soon.
Inshallah, very soon. Guys, if you like this episode, drop us a like, a comment, do a subscription. Just click that button. Can you just point that and say, just subscribe? Just subscribe. That's
now.
it. That's it. And I'll see you very, very soon on Luca's Inside Track.